we all have the same problems. We all have the same goals. We want to make sure that we are happy, that our children can have a decent life. And try to meet people on this equal basis, and then try to contribute in whatever way. And I think the first step is meet them honestly, listen to them, and then perhaps you can contribute more.
First of all, I would like to welcome you, Dr. Eric. I welcome you to the table.
Thank you for having me.
I want you to tell us a little bit about you.
So professionally, I'm a lecturer at the university. I'm teaching law and sociology and ethics. And from the beginning, my professional choices have always been to contribute to society, to a just and dignified society. And I'm teaching in Ruhr, and one of my students at the time asked me what she should write about in her bachelor thesis. And I told her that she can choose whatever topic she's interested in. And then after some months, she asked me if she could write about the Holocaust or the genocide in Rwanda. And I told myself, well, that's unfortunate because very difficult topic. But since I promised her that everything's possible, we started to focus on Rwanda. And one of the preconditions was that she would have to go to Rwanda. I always think that you can't write about people without having met them, without having experienced at least a little bit what they experienced, or you try to understand what they went through. And then we went together for 2 weeks, and out of this first contact, we realized that tourism in a more reflective and more self-critical way could be a very interesting approach. The beginning was a form of tourism that provides people with the opportunity to learn about others and to learn about yourself. And to see that on the one hand we are extremely similar, the differences are small, except for living conditions and some experiences that in some places happen, in others don't. And after organizing about 3 small journeys, we realized that this sort of tourism is interesting for the people who meet, but economically no money stays in Rwanda. The travelers coming from Switzerland, they pay for airplanes, they pay for hotels, but the people we meet, they don't really profit economically. So we started to change the perception. We would like to start with economic development first, and based on economic development cooperation, we would also have study trips, like students who meet students in Rwanda, and in 2 weeks we go with teachers who will meet teachers in the schools we have been working with for now in total 8 years.
That's amazing. Wow. So it's like it came out of bloom, like surprisingly, that you told your student you can choose whatever you want. And then I think that was the connection from God. I believe it's like something in your heart, because you really want to do something but you didn't know what really you should do. And then God being so good, you just, the girl or the boy, a girl just came to your mind. That's very, very good. I think that when you talk about the education side that you are in now, and I have seen also that people is sewing in your website. There's a kind of different things you are doing here. Because my way of the reason why I would like to help people as well is when I was in school, it's like you seen it in Africa. Those days we have to pay the school fees. I think still now they do, and you have to pay your furnitures, and you carry your chair, table to school, and after you have to carry it back home because people will steal it or something like that. And it's like it was a bit struggling until now. It is like that. And then when I went to commercial school after the elementary school, when we was about to finish, and then I needed to make exams, okay? And then I needed a typewriter machine. And in that time, a young girl, I think I was about maybe 15 years, waiting to get the typewriter machine, and it was like, I have none. And I knew the story that when I go and ask my parents, it's like, you are bringing trouble to them again. But I needed that typewriter machine. So it kind of, you battle in your mind, you are confused. Even if I tell them they don't have a place, they cannot afford it. And those days back, it's like typewriter machine, it was really expensive. So I kind of keep it myself, and I start asking around the campus, you know, to see if somebody can really help. So one friend told me that she said that, oh, I know there is a school over there. Maybe we can go and you can ask, maybe they can, you know, spare you for the exams and everything. I said, okay, that's fine. I said, okay, we can go. So we left the campus, and then we was heading towards where we needed to get the typewriter machine. And of course, it's far. So those days we need to, like, you would want a lift, you know, so we could take the bus, the passenger bus, you know, and then we get to some place, and we need a lift to go to the place. It's far. And I quite remember that someone gave us a lift, a man, an older man, and we were 4, okay, and then when we get down, when we sat in the car, he began to ask, where do you come from, and all this one. Of course, we have to introduce ourselves. And so he said, okay, so what are we up to? And then I said, oh, we are looking for a typewriter machine. In fact, my friends, all of them have. They left me, I don't have. And then we are going to some school to ask if they can help me get one for the season of my exams. He said, oh, he have a school. And it's true that he have a commercial school in that a place. So I said, okay, he said, I can offer you one. You know, 15 years, you have that kind of temper. It's like you was happy. Say, wow, God has answered my prayers, you know. But in that way, he have his own plan. You know, there are some old people that they abuse children, and especially when they know you need some help. So he gave me his number. He showed him where we live. And then I thought, okay, when he come, I'm just going to get the typewriter machine at home to learn. But then he picked me up. We went to the school. He did give me he showed me the private school, very beautiful. And then he had to sleep with me before giving me the machine, you know. And that thing, it was like a saw. It hurt me a lot. I was blew up. Say, why is it that? In fact, I cried. And I needed the thing. I took the machine. But how to use it to become successful, I couldn't. Because for me, it's not what I want. I needed somebody like a free willing, and then something like that. And it left how to tell my parents, you know, and I couldn't tell them till now. And the thing hurt me till now. It left that you have to pray, oh God, help me that I don't get pregnant, or things like that. Can you imagine at the 15 years? So we did the exams, but I didn't pass because I fear even when I see the small typewriter machine, and I blow up. I didn't pass I didn't want even to learn them. And so when I have the chance to travel to Europe, my heart was like to help people, especially in education way. So I told the story to my husband, and then we do normally make first container I make with computers, typewriters, this one, just to let somebody smile and to say that, oh, if I am out, how many people are going through that before they get something, work, or be abusing and all these things. So when I met you and you say you are helping, Rwanda, I was touched. Say, wow, this is the man. You see, it's just like, and I look at your website and I say, wow, at least I hope that people will learn from, you know, some things. But you can use whatever you have to help somebody. So my pains was I cry, but I'm happy that I have that pain so that I can help somebody down there to or whoever I met. You know, so it's a journey to do, whatever it is. So when you started, is it easy or you just flow?
I think your very impressive and sad story highlights the main point, that you find a lot of people fighting for their dignity, for their freedom, for their advancements. And for us, one of the first very important recognitions was you don't have to educate the people, but you have to provide them with the resources they are in need. And all the projects we started never came from us, always from the people, always from the local people. It's always a bottom-up approach. We don't know what they need, they know what they need, they know where they want to go to. And we try to organize the means that are necessary. So like you were fighting for your own path, you were fighting for your freedom and for getting the power you needed to create your own life. And that's what we are contributing to. But it comes from them, they know what they need, they are very passionate. Not all of them, it's like here, you have people very engaged, very responsible, and others who don't care. But in all the partnerships we have been with, we are really lucky and impressed to see how much they want to achieve and how courageously and responsible they are acting. And we contribute as much as we can because we think we have been tremendously lucky to grow up here. And the wealth and the power we have here is based on colonialism, is based on a highly unequal economic system. So we have to pay back. We have to make sure that everybody has equal chances in this world, and that's why we do this job.
That's good. Wow. It's like, I hope that many people will learn your examples and to know that it's true what you achieve. You want to help somebody to live like equal, like you. Like you said, here we have everything, you know. So sometimes indeed when I see some children in school and I see the chances they have, and really it's like they are just like that. They don't want to push up, and it's like I look at them and say, what is going on?
You mentioned the difficulties for students here in Switzerland to be motivated. I think it's a sort of paradox. On the one hand, I think we have to be extremely happy that not all of them, but some of them are not too motivated, because it's difficult to know what do I fight for in a society where everything is around and you have so many opportunities that in the end you don't really know what to do. On the other hand, that's much easier in Rwanda because they know what they have to do. You have to survive. You have to make sure, if you're the oldest one, you have to get the money for all your siblings, because the parents invested everything in your education, and then it's your turn, and you have to make sure that you're able to finance the other 3 or 4 siblings you have. So the motivation is not the problem, but the infrastructure. And I think to bring these two worlds together and to show that we can profit from each other in a tremendous way, I think that's the goal, or one of the parts.
That's wonderful. Yeah, it is true. When you know where you are heading towards, I think no one have to tell you where you should go. So I think it's really, really true what you are saying. And so with the sewing things, how is the people doing?
Well, I think the process was insofar fascinating because all of us started from scratch. Our partners didn't know anything about pottery to a certain degree, about sewing almost nothing, about cooking or schools a little bit. we weren't experienced in development cooperation. We never did it. So we grew up basically together, and we had to learn from each other and to become more and more professional. And I think that has been a tremendous opportunity, because nobody of us thought we know how it works, but we had to find the best ways to do it. And today I would say we are on a good path. For the schools, first is the infrastructure, and the next step is education of teachers. We have extremely motivated teachers. They're all working for almost nothing. There was something that we recommended them. You have to pay your teachers if possible, because nobody can work for nothing over a long time. You can give a lot for a certain time, but they have families. It's not possible. They teach in the morning, in the afternoon they go collecting wood, selling on the market. So when do they prepare their courses? When do they improve their skills as teachers? So we had to make sure that we can raise more money also to pay these salaries. At the beginning, when we started, we had the idea that we just contribute a little bit, and we finance 1 or 2 machines, for example, and then they go their own. They go on their own, and they don't need us anymore. Was this idea help for self-help, which I'm not totally sure anymore if it really works. Or let's say, I think one of the things we realized quite soon is that it's not a short-term engagement. It's not done by giving 1 or 2 machines. When sometimes people ask here, how long does it take until they will be successful? Then I ask them, well, how many years do we invest in your children? Well, you know, if I think of my children, 20 years, 25 years until they're independent. Well, it's the same here. They start from scratch, they start from nothing. And we just expect to give them 1 or 2 machines and then they go on their own. It's not possible. So we have to be together. We have to learn from them, they have to learn from us, and we build up together the power needed to make a fair and just development possible. And now the organization gets bigger and bigger. We started to limit the partnerships. We don't want to have more partnerships because everything we're doing gets more expensive now. 1 or 2 machines is okay. Building a school is a totally different level. A good school, starting to pay salaries, that's a burden. Because if you try to finance a school, that's okay, you can tell them, sorry, not this year, perhaps we manage it next year. But you can't tell them, sorry, no salary this year, perhaps next year, that's not possible. So now we have the pressure to raise this money for every year. Last summer I had quite some nights panicking because we make a promise. We are here to be with them. We want to accompany them until we are both independent and powerful enough to grow and go on together, but not depend on each other. So I realized that the burden, the pressure was sometimes almost too big. But what is nice, since we started in 2015, the biggest challenge is trust. They didn't totally trust us because they've seen so many NGOs coming, making 1 or 2 photos, paying a little bit for 1 or 2 children, and then disappearing again because what they wanted to have is the photo for their website. And the first 2 years, I often ask them, don't you have problems? No, everything's fine. And I said, well, it's not possible, we all have problems. We always have problems. No, everything's fine. Until I realized they don't want to tell me their problems because they were quite sure if I hear about problems, I'm not interested anymore. I just want to get success stories. And as soon as they realized they will stay with us, I got all information about problems. I started to learn about smaller problems with government, local government, things like this. They started to trust us. And now we have this basis that is really strong. And when I said last year, sorry, we have to postpone 1 of the schools, it's too much for me. They said, okay, no problem. And suddenly I got proposal how we can save money, how we can avoid certain things. So we are really together in the boat, and I think we never had this this feeling that sometimes we have, of course we always have, but I think the big majority knows that we are working as much as we can, that we are together, and that we are not the rich people coming from heaven who can just throw out the money, but we have to work to get the money we can invest here.
That's very important, because the moment someone depend on you, it's like if you are not careful, you become, pressed, and you don't enjoy of doing the things, because like you said, the trust is not there. If the trust is not there, it's very difficult for somebody to open up to you. Yes, but when the trust is there, they are open up. You see, and while we are talking now, I feel how it is like, it's not easy, but it's like you enjoy doing it. That's why what you are saying, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I can, just a week, we just make something that people will come from their village, a place, and buy food. At the end of the day, maybe we have something to support you or something like that, because I know how it's painful when you want to do something and it's like there is no help, it's very, very difficult. So I want to say thank you very much I hope that all your support people, they will do well and trust you and also do more for you. So if you have something to tell us, the Africans that we are in abroad, something, and you have seen Africa, how it is, do you have anything to encourage all of us?
I think the most important and the most beautiful thing is to be interested in other people and not to consume them, not to go to places and consume some entertainment, but just to listen to them, listen about their lives, listen what they experienced, positive and negative things. You grow with them, you learn from them. Teaching is nice, not because I'm talking about the things I know, because I know them. I know myself. I'm boring for myself, I know myself. But what is nice is to be with students, to learn from them, to see how they interact with us and how they go out and discover other people. And as soon as you discover other people, you realize that we're all the same. I'm also teaching in China. It's amazing how different is everything. You have the political systems. These are often very different. There it's about power and it's about positions and about advantages. But when you meet people in their everyday life, we all have the same problems. We all have the same goals. We want to make sure that we are happy, that our children can have a decent life. And try to meet people on this equal basis and then try to contribute in whatever way. And I think the first step is meet them honestly, listen to them, and then perhaps you can contribute more because you have a relationship. And to work and be with somebody makes life wonderful.
That's good. That's powerful, because you have to talk to them to know where is their soul before you can heal them.
Exactly.
Okay? So it's like to travel, but not that like you want to just make a photo to do something for yourself, but it's like listening to them and see where their problems is, and the little you can help them. And I believe that if the whole world, let's say 1 out of 10 will do every day something, I think that the world will change. I don't think that we have to depend only on government and this one. We are too, the more you grown up, the more you have the possibility to think, who should I touch, and for me, my way is whenever I do something good for somebody, I find it like a privilege. I thank God for that, because I know that I didn't have, and now if I can do something for somebody to smile, it makes the smiling that I didn't get when I was a child. I see some child smiling on that way, you see. If someone wants to help your project, how do they normally get in touch to you or through your website?
Through the website is the easiest way.
Okay.
For sure. And I would add, like to add something to what you said before, is that we touch souls when we help, but we get touched back.
That is true.
I think that's it's really vice versa. It provides you with the meaning that we are all looking for. We know why we get up in the morning, and we know what we are fighting for. I think touching other people will touch you back, and that's why it's so worth doing it.
I think this is very powerful. Like we touch the soul, and someone will touch us back. That's really something special to me. All we are trying to say to the people who are watching is, wherever you are, you see, touch people, touch somebody. You can see Dr. Eric on their website. We will put the website there, and then try to help their team as well, to help them to do more, to build more schools, to help people. Thank you so much, Eric, for being here with us.